On a spring night in 1962, another confrontation. It began as a stop and search of Muslim men delivering dry cleaning. It ended with a full police assault on the Muslim temple. This time, 8 men were shot, 1 police officer and 7 Muslims. Temple Secretary Ronald Stokes was dead at the scene.
I arrived at the mosque in Los Angeles after the shooting took place. And there's great sadness amongst people. You know. Malcolm was walking back and forth, shaking his head, saying, they're going to pay for it, they're going to pay for it, they're going to pay for it. I mean, they're going to pay for it.
Anyone breaking our temples, we were to defend the temple with our life. The temple is sacred. And those brothers, they acted on what they were taught. And I'm sure that anyone seeing police break into a church would be outraged.
This didn't come as a great surprise to us, the fact that they would resist our police officers and cause trouble, because we have been watching this group for a long time, and I think Chief Parker warned some time ago that we might have trouble with them.
The Los Angeles Times reported the incident as a Muslim riot and a wild gunfight. But it was never proven that any of the guns fired belonged to the Muslims. Malcolm called for churches and civil rights organizations to form a united front with the Muslims against police brutality.
Let us remember that we're not brutalized because we're Baptists. We're not brutalized because we're Methodists. We're not brutalized because we're Muslims. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America. I'm telling you, they came out of those cars and we have enough witnesses to hang them with their guns smoking. Chief Parker knows this, Mayor Yorty knows this, and every police official in the city knows that. They didn't fire no warning shots in the air. They fired warning shots point blank at innocent, unarmed, defenseless Negroes. As I say, 2 of the brothers were shot in the back. Another was shot in the shoulder. Another was shot, 2 of them were shot, excuse the expression, through the penis. Let me tell you something, and I'll tell you why you say we hate white people. We don't hate anybody. We love our own people so much they think we hate the ones who are inflicting injustice against them.
Patrolman Donald Weiss, the officer who killed Ronald Stokes, testified that he knew Stokes was unarmed, but that Stokes had raised his hands in a menacing way. The all-white coroner's jury deliberated 23 minutes and found the death a justifiable homicide. 14 Muslims were then ordered to stand trial on assault charges. 11 would be found guilty and sentenced to prison.
We were people that said, never be the aggressor, but if someone attack you, we do not teach you to turn the other cheek. There were Muslims who were not from the East Coast, but from other parts of the country that was actually ready to go out there and kill those police officers. Even though they may have been killed in the process of doing it, but that's how strong the attitude of Muslims was against those brothers just being shot like that.
The conflict at the Los Angeles Mosque brought to the surface the growing differences between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. The messenger insisted Allah would avenge Stokes' death, but Malcolm demanded justice in the courts.
If it were possible for them to get a fair trial, there would be no necessity for a trial at all. These are the victims of police bullets, and you don't take the victim in court as a criminal. You take the one who shot the victim in court, and it is the police who should be on trial here in Los Angeles.
Malcolm began to talk less and less about God was going to get rid of the Caucasian, and he began to talk about how we were going to be able to bring them to justice and make them guilty, and that they are guilty according to the law of the land, which was not our argument at all. Our argument was that we were a divine people and that we were to be protected and finally delivered, put in the seat of authority by Allah. That was our teaching at that time.
To avoid further confrontations with city authorities, Elijah Muhammad summoned Malcolm to a meeting at the messenger's home.
Elijah Muhammad told him very definitely, if you had reacted the way you should have reacted, if you'd had more faith in Allah, Ronald Stokes would be alive. That was it. It really gave him an upbraiding. And Malcolm said nothing about, well, there was nothing we could do or anything of that sort. He just listened.
Mr. Muhammad told him is that that's one man that we lost. I never did tell you that we weren't going to lose anyone, because that's the way it is when you build a nation. He said they were wrong. But if I send my followers out there to do battle with those people in LA, either undercover or on top of the cover, they will get slaughtered, and I'm not going to do that. And Malcolm didn't like that.
Malcolm had always said, Muslims don't back down. In Harlem, he now had to explain what happened in Los Angeles.
Ronald Stokes was not the least among the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was one of the highest. He was the secretary of our Los Angeles month. And as we explained in that rally on May, many of you thought that we should go right on out then and make war on the white man. You wanted to do it yourself, didn't you? Didn't you? You wanted some action then, didn't you? Because you don't like the idea of white people shooting black people down, do you? And you're ready to do something about it, aren't you? We know you are. And the white man should be thankful that God has given the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the control over his followers that he has, so that they can play it cool, calm, and collected, and leave it in the hands of God.